Domain of functions. So when we say domain of functions, that means that it's a set of inputs that you can plug it in. So let's think about this function, f of x equals x plus 5. What number can you plug it in for x? You can pretty much plug in any real numbers you want. You know, it could be crazy number like pi, or mathematical constant e, or integers or fractions, or any number you want, right? So the domain of this function is going to be all real numbers, right? So that's the notation for real numbers. But when you get to this one, for the second one, x maps to 1 over x plus 5, we know that we cannot have 0 in the denominator because you cannot divide any number by 0. So we got to make sure that the denominator, x plus 5, not to be 0. So what number can you plug in so that the denominator is not going to be 0, right? So if you plug in -5, the denominator is going to be 0. So you cannot plug in -5, but as long as you stay away from -5, you can plug it in any number you want. So the domain is all real number where x cannot be -5. So let's look at the last case. How about this guy, right? Well, we know that by if you have negative numbers inside of the square root, for example, square root of -5, well, so the definition of square root is square root of 9 is going to be equal to plus or minus 3. Because 3 to the second power is 9, or -3 to the second power is 9 as well. But what number, for example, square is going to be -5 or -9 or whatever? You know, there's no real numbers like that. So we got to make sure that the inside of the square root is not going to be negative, right? So if you plug it in -5, that's going to be 0, right? So -5 is okay. What if we put -5.1? That's going to be -0.1, which inside of the square root is going to be negative. Therefore, we cannot plug it in any number less than -5, right? Because if you plug in -5.00001, still you get negative number, which is not allowed to do that in the square roots at this point. So the domain is going to be, you can plug in any number or real number you want, but x has to be, you cannot pick any number less than -5 because inside is going to be negative. So that's going to be the domain.